So I've seen this happen over and over. A company sets a goal to grow into a new market, does a few activities, sees almost no results, and 10 years later, that market is still barely scratched. I've experienced this myself. I worked as a marketing manager in a global manufacturing company, and every time we would try to enter a new industry or a new regional market, we just really struggled. It allowed me to kind of look at what were the patterns. I've seen what happens when you overinvest or underinvest. Both are mistakes and can cause the effort you're putting in to go into that new market fail. It doesn't really matter how well known you are in your industry or your region. When you go into a new market or a new industry, no one cares. In emerging markets, especially, people see companies come and go all the time, and they're really going to wait to see if you're serious. Are you really going to stick around or not? And there would be a lot of activity for about 6 months on that, and then crickets, more crickets, and eventually we shut it down or shutter it, or it just stays small and years go by. You can't keep marketing to those new industries or regions with the same marketing assets that you use back home. Corporate teams are really busy with what corporate wants them to do, 97% of the time, or you could say 120% of the time. For them to divide their attention onto basically a whole new business, a whole new market, a whole new industry is crazy. So let's break this down into a few steps. Before you budget anything, you need to ask, are we prepared to take a loss in this market for 2, 3, 5 years? If you're not prepared to do that, just don't start. Focus on the market or the industry in which you're doing well and stay there. You might say, oh, I'm prepared to take a loss for 6 months. Well, the market doesn't care what you're prepared for, what your timeline is. They won't care that you're coming into their industry necessarily just because you're there. Maybe start caring after they see you at 3 trade shows and then several of their buddies have gotten some of your products. Then they'll start to care. Then they'll start to consider you. Step 2, plan for 5 times the amount you initially thought and set your milestones accordingly. Why do I say 5 times longer? I had a new quasi-boss who had been set up to manage a new product line, and I gave him a 6-month timeline, and I was told it had to be done in 6 weeks. 6 years went by, and they were relaunching that product line because of issues with manufacturing that took that long to get figured out. Step 3 would be find good local people in that industry. If you can supply people who are already in that industry or in that region with good marketing and support, it'll go a lot better than if you're just trying to, from corporate, from Europe, trying to advertise into an area. So find good local people and empower them to push your brand forward. There's a lot of people in these markets, in these industries that can help you promote. Don't think you have to do it all. Use local content. Step 4 would be use local content to show your product in use in that market, in that industry. One of the issues we've had in the past was showing an application of an industrial product in Europe or North America, but trying to sell it to the jungles of Indonesia. They couldn't see themselves using that product. Step 5, work with a marketing team that can stay on it affordably over time. I've done this before where I was in charge of Europe marketing and then kind of doing Asia marketing on the side. One dude, part-time, working on Asia marketing, part of the world that has like 3 billion people in all these different countries and different regions. That doesn't work. It just kind of keeps things kind of going, status quo maintained. It doesn't move anything forward. Having the corporate marketing team is generally a very bad idea of doing that because it's always going to be the bottom of their priority list. I have 12 years experience supporting global manufacturers, and I work as an extension of other companies' teams with my team, and we help you actually extend your marketing strategy and capabilities to get things done just like this. And we can do that anywhere from anywhere.